July is Fibroids Awareness Month, and this morning we're having an important conversation about the condition that impacts millions of women.
And I'm one of them. Back in 2019, I learned during a routine gynecological exam that I had fibroids. I shared my journey on this show and didn't realize at the time just how many women were suffering in silence.
70% of women are affected by fibroids, and I became one of them after being diagnosed in 2019. As years passed, the fibroids grew, physically distorting my stomach, and the pain unbearable.
Okay, I'm going in.
Until I underwent uterine fibroid embolization, a minimally invasive procedure that cuts the blood flow to fibroids, helping them to shrink.
And Dr. Schiffman said that I was a champ. The silver lining is it's over.
Let's all take a deep breath in through our nose. Exhale, side out of our mouth.
54-year-old yoga instructor Holley Corey was diagnosed with fibroids about 6 years ago, but in January started to feel off-the-charts pain. She was bleeding a lot. Her stomach began to protrude. It was impacting her life. Then, Holley saw my story and decided to find out more about the procedure.
Wow.
Well, Holley is here with Dr. Shirazian, and I just want to give you a hug.
Yes, that is why we do what we do.
Yeah, I'm so grateful that you reached out.
And I'm grateful.
And, well, let me introduce Dr. Tara Shirazian, who wasn't either of our doctors, but can help shed light for the Center of Fibroid Care at NYU Langone Health. Good morning to both of you. So how are you doing?
I'm getting better. Way better. Not 100% yet, but I'm getting there.
So you've just been dealing with this for years, or for people who don't know your story? I mean, was it similar to what we've heard?
Yes. 6 years ago, I found my first one. I was living with it, but in January, it just took a whole nother spin.
Yeah.
And it was continuous pain every day. It was bad.
There's so many women who are living in pain. I was just looking at the numbers, 70%. 70% of women are affected. And, you know, women hide it well. They get that bulge, and so a lot of us know how to hide that. Right. And I know women of color and black women often have a greater chance of developing fibroids. I've talked a lot about that. Can we go through some of the risk factors and symptoms for women who may be watching this morning?
Yes, I think symptoms are so important. I have seen so many women in the office over time, and they tell me, you know, they just thought they were gaining weight, especially with COVID. A lot of it goes undiagnosed because women are bloated. They feel like they're gaining weight. They have pressure symptoms. They can have urinary symptoms, and they don't necessarily attribute those symptoms to fibroids. Fibroids classically are thought of as bleeding tumors, but they do have a whole host of other symptoms. So
I should say, we keep talking about fibroids. For people who don't know, they're small. How would you explain it?
Yeah.
Fifth grade, like,
yes, benign tumors, growths of the uterus. We use the word tumor, but tumors can be benign or not benign. These are benign, but they create a lot of structural issues, right? It's like having a orange in your uterus or a grapefruit in your uterus.
Right, Mandarin.
And, so it creates pressure, it creates pain. They can degenerate, which means they lose their blood supply and kind of create this pain situation. Weight gain, bloating,
Going to the bathroom all the time, intercourse,
constipation.
I mean, we could name them. But it's interesting because you had the same experience I did with your doctor or one of your doctors, that when I first went, they brought up hysterectomy. And I think thousands of people reached out to me, fans, saying, I thought that was the only option. And I know you had that experience
Exactly,
too.
Exactly. Everyone was like, just get a hysterectomy.
What are the
I hear that every day.
Because I know women in their couple of decades
and
in
you're
front.
going to need one anyway.
Yeah, I know a woman in generation in front of me. That was her only option.
Right.
Not too long ago.
Have so many
Can you talk about the options
So I
really
definitely want to talk about that because I also think we're really privileged here in New York because we have lots.
It's a national show, so
right in New York, but it doesn't help our national audience.
Yes.
So the national audience needs to know that there are so many options for their fibroids. So there are medications that shrink fibroids. There are procedures that you can do to shrink your fibroids. UFE is one, but there is a newer procedure called the transcervical fibroid ablation procedure that I've been doing over the course of this last year, where it targets each individual fibroid vaginally through a scope vaginally and actually shrinks them. So that's really neat and new and effective for some. You know, the big thing is every individual has different choices that are going to work for them. So you need to talk and work with your doctor. That's why we have the Center for Fibroid Care, so that you can come in and really understand the nature of your disease and what would work best for you, not only now, but in the long term, to prevent recurrence, prevent those fibroids from coming back, which happens for many, many, many patients. So there's also surgeries, too.
Right, and I just want to say, but sometimes a hysterectomy is, I don't want to say that it's, sometimes it is.
It is the best option for many women, and actually the hysterectomy, just to say, you can do that through a camera. I do that laparoscopically, right? So we use a camlet. It's 3 tiny incisions. You feel better within a few days. So
I'm so glad
it is the best choice.
We're having this conversation on the show. Sorry about that. We have about 30 seconds left. What do you want the takeaway to be?
I want people to know that fibroids are very, very common. They are not alone. There are many options. They don't have to settle for just waiting it out, which is something I hear every day. Just wait till menopause. You cannot wait for menopause if you're 30, 35, 40, right? It just drives me crazy when my patients come in and tell me that. We have a center of care. The goal of our center is to provide every woman with all of her best choices so she can lead her best life. It's all about the choice that is best for you. It's not about any one particular choice, right? So we want people to have options, know those options, and come in, talk to us, and work together to accomplish them.
Thank you for being so brave, for sharing your story, and for reaching out on Instagram. I mean, that's how I heard from all these fans. And thank you, doctor.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you. We need to talk about this. And to learn more about fibroids, head to today.com/health.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.